Welcome to On the Spectrum. I'm your host, Terri Matthews, and this is the show where we like to inform you, entertain you, and educate you, encourage you about all things autism. We like to call it prescription TV. So every Tuesday, I do a do-it-yourself project, and this is where we like to bring out the creative genius in you. Today, we'll be making visual schedules with a good friend of mine, Kim, who has 27 years experience working with children and adults that have been impacted by autism. How are you today, Kim?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and you're always bringing us some cool information. So picture schedules is what I hear people say. Visual schedules is what I hear people say. Is there a right or a wrong, and what are they?
Well, visuals is another fancy word for saying picture schedules, okay? So, when someone talks about a picture schedule, a visual schedule, what we're really talking about is a tool. It's a tool that helps our children and adults alike with making transitions. Visual schedules are great for helping with behavior, helping with communication, and they're great even for our kids who aren't on the autism spectrum. They can help with chores, help keep us comfortable and reduce our anxiety, and so we know what's happening next.
Guess what? I use these schedules to this day. I mean, I used them for Jaden. I now use them for his siblings who are not autistic.
Absolutely.
To remind them, do your homework, do your dishes, especially when I'm traveling.
No.
So how easy is this project, and what actually do we need to do it?
Okay, well, as we all know, there are lots of commercially available things that you can find online. So as examples, we have different websites where you can create your own, similar to this. This is a, do-it-yourself online kind of schedule. And, in addition to that, though, there are lots of very easy ways that we can do it right here at home without having a fancy laminator or, worrying about downloading pictures.
Okay.
It's just as easy as getting some magazines.
So any kind of magazines where you can cut out things that are associated to your routine, right?
Exactly,
okay,
exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And then,
that's easy. Everybody has magazines out there, right?
Always, right? Using something that we often find around our house, which is clear contact paper. Clear contact paper, a lot of people use this to line their cabinets and that kind of thing. You can find this at any, hardware store or any variety store. And then also we can use Velcro, as you can see over there. This is, again, something you can find at your local hardware store.
And Velcro's inexpensive, easy, doesn't create any danger. So we would basically take this in a pitcher, right, that's laminated.
Right.
And here we show like soup, right? So in this case, it's like we would just take this, put one piece of Velcro on the back, and then one piece actually on a piece of paper or wherever we're going to be hanging this. And then, is this how easy this is? Just like this?
That's it. Put them together and there you go. And they can come off and on. So you can create multiple pictures, depending on the schedule that you're trying to create. So here, what we're doing right now is, these are over here, we can see there's just like daily schedules. So that what happens across your day.
So that's why this says, so if you guys can take a look at this, it says morning, afternoon, evening, and basically, right along here is what you would actually put. Now, hopefully your kids in the morning aren't going tubing, but maybe in the afternoon they might be. So you could put the Velcro right on the back of here and stick it here as an example.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
That one might go under a special event right there.
Oh, okay. Well, for Jaden, it would probably be, no, Mom, I'm going in the afternoon. Like, you're at school, dude. You can't do that. So you could do it where it's all day, and then there's like task or specific time periods?
Absolutely. Well, we want to make sure that we're incorporating the visual schedules in our routines of our day, because that's what the research tells us is most effective, where we can help kids to transition and learn what the steps are. And that looks different for every child. So here, as you can see, is a generic one, like we, had talked about, where it's a morning routine. You get up, you make your bed, you have breakfast. But we can make them very specific, and you can make them with your child or your adult that you are working with, or that's in your family with autism, so that it's specific to them and meaningful to them. So that's what we did here. Yeah, what we did here was we had a young guy who had a really difficult time getting out the door. He hated to walk out, wouldn't put his shoes on, wouldn't put his socks on. So we sat down and we created this, used magazines, cut out some pictures. And what was really awesome about this situation was that he went and cut out a picture of a dog. And we were like, why is he cutting out a picture of a dog? Well, here, it was because he really wanted to say goodbye to his dog every day, and we didn't know that.
And now this kiddo happened to be a nonverbal child, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So sometimes when we see a lot of the behaviors in our children and they can't quite communicate what it is, having something like this kind of helps reduce, because getting him out the door was probably a challenge until he got an opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute, I want to say goodbye to my dog.
Absolutely, gave him some of that control.
Behaviors, y'all. You know how behaviors will be like, okay.
Taking that same idea, we are going to put together a very short schedule on once you leave the house, we're going out. It's a snow day. So we're going to go and put a schedule together about what we're going to do for that snow day.
Okay.
Okay? So the first thing you do is, and this is where we don't necessarily have a whole lot of control, is we got to put some clothes on, right? Got to put those winter goggles on.
That means there's a lot of stuff that's on, because Jaden would like to run out naked half the time, and I'm like, dude, you can't do that. So we would just stick this on here. And is there any order that we need to put it on?
Well, I mean, most of the time we try to go, either left to right or top to bottom, but again, that's your preference.
Okay. So just as an example, this is what we're doing. Put your coat on.
All right. And then what we can talk about, too, again, letting your family member go ahead and pick. Do they want to go tubing? Do they want to go sledding?
Okay.
Whichever's the choice for them.
So I want to go sledding, because this is a cooler picture.
Yeah, I love that picture.
And then we could just put this on. And then now it's like, what's last?
What's last?
And we've actually already put that on there.
I know. So it's time to go back and have some tomato soup, because we're going to get cozy and nice and warm. And there you go.
So this simple. Is super, super easy. And again, this is, it doesn't take you to be a creative genius, basically, is all we need our parents to know. It's super simple to grab. Velcro for any local store, contact paper if you want to use it. But more importantly, it helps us communicate with our children.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for this, Kim. This is awesome. This honestly saved my life. And my son was nonverbal for 4 years. And so this was really, really, really a big part of our day.
It's a wonderful tool.
If you're interested in finding out how you can do this type of project at home, log on to www.terrimatthewsonline.com. That's where you can download these step-by-step instructions. There's additional resources out there. Thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have. See you next time on The Spectrum.